With this Tears in Heaven guitar lesson, we'll show you how to play the complete song on acoustic guitar. With guitar tabs, chord diagrams, and a karaoke practice video, we'll cover it all with the step-by-step approach. Now, with Tears in Heaven being a fingerstyle piece, it's a good idea to first review basic fingerstyle technique before we get started with the intro. And with that, we focus on the right hand, for most of us the right hand, the plucking hand. You need to align and assign your fingers to pluck certain strings. The one finger will pluck the third string. Second or middle finger is assigned to the second string. Third finger is assigned to the one or the top string. And the thumb will pluck either the sixth, fifth, or the fourth strings depending on the bass note of the chord that's being played. And you don't have to follow this 100%, but if you do so, you keep your right hand steady and in position. And that'll make it a lot easier. For the rest of the lesson, we'll now shift most of our focus to the chord changes. The intro begins with a 3-note riff. We're going to start by hammering the bottom string 0 to 2, meaning the open bottom string to the 2nd fret. And then the thumb just shifts to the 5th string and plays it open. Then we go into the progression, and that first finger shifts along the 2nd fret, flattens down on the 2 and 3 strings together. We're going to start by plucking the 3rd string, then we go to the 2 string, and that's a hammer pull-off combo. If you look at the tab, you'll see the curve over the 2, 3, and 2 frets. That indicates to pluck the 2nd fret to begin, but the 3rd and then back to the 2nd frets, you don't pluck those notes. They're sounded by the hammer pull-off combo. And then we go back down to the 3rd string. So putting together that section, and if we go back to the beginning, one more. Then we shift up to an E7/G sharp chord. Long name, but just 3 strings on this chord. The bass note, the 6th string, and then what I call the melody notes are going to be the 2nd and 3rd strings together. And we start by plucking all 3 of those strings together. And for this section, I'm going to apply a 3 count. What I mean by that, the 1 count will be all 3 strings together. Then the thumb will shift to the 4th string. That's the new bass note, where we shift the bass note. 1, 2, and then just the melody notes. 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we go down to an F sharp minor chord. You're going to have to bar this one. And same 3 strings to start this one together, the 6 and the 3 and the 2 strings. And what's important here is to work on that transition between these 2 chords, and I would apply a 4 count to start. Here's what I mean. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One note, Eric Clapton uses his thumb for Tears in Heaven to fret the bottom string bass notes. It's a little unorthodox. I think for most people it's going to be a little tricky to get that thumb not only curved around but also to fret the notes. In addition, you got to actually fret that bottom string. Now, I think with these chord shapes we're using here, it'll be a little easier to get clarity, but by all means, if you want to try it like Clapton, go ahead. But let's put together this section from the beginning. We'll play it all the way through to the F sharp chord, the F sharp minor. 1, 2, ready, go. And let's do that one more time. This F sharp minor chord is technically the beginning of the next section. So as we go into that next section, we're now going to look at F sharp minor as the 1 count. And then we we change the fingerstyle pattern a little bit, it'll be a 4 count. The 1 being all 3, the 2 count being the 4-string bass note, 3 count the melody strings, and the 4 count back to the bass note. So here's how it sounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we go in to the progression here, which will shift now to A/E. The first finger we were barring, now it just shifts along that 2nd fret, flattens across 3 strings, 2, 3, and 4, and it'll be the same fingerstyle pattern for A/E. So now let's put that together, the 2 chords so far. Go to D/F sharp. Same fingerstyle pattern. And one thing to note here, between these 3 chords, that first finger is always aligned along the 2nd fret. F sharp minor, shift to A/E, and the D/F sharp. And if you keep that in mind, it makes the transitions a little bit easier. So let's put together the 3 chords now. 1, 2, ready, go. Let's do that one more time, get a good foundation. Then from here, we lift the first finger. That'll be a D/E chord shape. And then we shift in the middle of this section to an E7th chord, which is just lowering that 3rd string by 1 fret. So if we back it a little bit to the D/E, I would count this section with the 4 count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We end the intro with an A chord. Same fingerstyle pattern, but we change the bass note now to the 5th string. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we extend the A section 1, 2, 3 with an extra 3 count. So the complete A section, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And let's back it up a little bit. Let's connect the D/E E7th to the A ending. Now we'll back it up a little bit more to the F sharp minor, and we'll put together the last 3 sections of the intro. 1, 2, ready, go. One more time. 1, 2, ready, go. And in the next clip, we'll review the complete intro with the slow walkthrough. On the original recording of Tears in Heaven, there's a second guitar that plays various lead riffs throughout the song, and that includes the intro section we just covered. And in fact, the riff played in the intro is played a total of 9 times throughout the song, so I would consider it the main riff of the song. And if you're only interested in the fingerstyle sections, you can skip this clip and the next, but otherwise, if you're curious about the riff, we're going to cover it right now. The main riff features double stops played in the key of A major. And we're going to start with our first finger flattened along the top 2 strings, along the 5th fret. And we start with the slide up and down 2 frets, 5 to 7, back to 5, 5th fret to the 7th fret, back to the 5th, like so. And then we shift. The 3rd finger will go down to the 2 string, middle finger will go down to the 3rd string 4th fret. I prefer these 2 fingers, they're stronger, gives you better tone. Same deal as the top 2 strings, a slide up and down of 2 frets. So if we put those together from the beginning, we're halfway through it. Then we keep the hand steady in position. What I mean by that is now we go to the 1 finger down to the 2nd fret position. And similar to that A chord we played earlier in the intro, except we're only going to play the 2 strings together, the 2nd and 3rd strings, that double stop. And then we lift off and shift to the top 2 strings. And then down to what was that D/F sharp chord we played earlier in the intro, but if you're just playing the lead part, you only got to worry about the double stop on the 2 and 3 strings. So putting that together, and in fact, I would group or count that last part with a 3 count. 1, 2, 3. So if we put it together from the beginning, here's how it'll sound. Now, if there are 2 guitarists, that would be the lead guitarist part. You can just do that. But this riff is so essential that Eric Clapton would, when playing on his own, would play that riff. He would leave the progression while playing the fingerstyle, play the riff, and then without missing a beat, fall back into the progression after playing the riff. So let's show you how you can do that for a 1-person performance. So we're going to apply it to the intro. So here's the intro. And then right after that first F sharp chord, or that first beat of the F sharp minor section, we go to the riff. And then you're right back into the progression. Let's do that again a little bit faster. So what we'll do in the next clip is you can practice timing the riff, whether it's the first option, just playing the riff on your own without the chords, or doing what we just did. Either way, it's the same timing. So you could practice either option with the next clip. For the verse section, guitar-wise, you'll start it the same as the intro, at least for the first 2 sections. So we do the same progression to start. So with that, with the vocals coming in on verse 1, we need to start syncing the lyrics with the chord changes. And some key syllables to focus on it with the opening line, "Would you know my name?" Know and name are going to land on the chord changes. What I mean by that is know will land on the E7/G sharp, and name will land right on the F sharp minor chord. So let's show you what I mean by that as far as syncing the lyrics. Here we go from the top of the verse. Would you know my name? And let's do that one more time. Would you know my name? And then as we continue on with verse 1, we start to throw in some variations. Just like the intro, we do have the D/F sharp chord that comes up next, but the variation will be on the fourth beat. What I mean by that, 1, 2, 3, 4. On the 4 count, you play the top string. You sort of brush, so if you include the second string on that, that's fine. And then we go to A/E, and then a regular open E, same fingerstyle pattern, and then we go back to A/E. So with that, the first 2 count, 1, 2, and then we sort of keep the bar here, but tap down the middle and third fingers for that 3/4 double stop if you're looking at the tab. And then with that first finger still down, we play that bass note. So that final A/E section, the 4 count, will be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's back it up and put together these final sections here of line 1 of verse 1, starting with the D/F sharp chord. 1, 2, ready, go. And we'll do that one more time. 1, 2, ready, go. Now, regarding syncing up lyrics with this section, the lyrics are "If I Saw You in Heaven." The one thing I would focus on would be "If I." That syncs up with that variation on the D/F sharp chord. If I. And then heaven, at least that first syllable, I guess, on the E, will land on E. So let's back it up a little bit with the "If I Saw You in Heaven." If I saw you in heaven. And we'll do that one more time. If I saw you in heaven. Now let's go back and we'll review line 1 of verse 1 from the beginning. And we'll do that one more time. Line 2 of verse 1 is pretty much played the same with one variation, and that happens with the first A chord. We're going to, for line 2, delete the riff. Instead, with that A chord, we're going to pinch the 2 and 5 strings, or you can include the 3rd string as well. And then the 3rd string, or just 2 strings. And then you fall into progression that way. So now that's not much of a change there, but it's a little tricky when you connect the 2 sections. So since the rest of line 2 is identical to line 1, if you look at the tab, what I'm going to do is back it up as if we're finishing line 1 with the E to A/E section, and then we're going to connect that to this variation. So we'll do it a couple times. Here's the first try, first go around here. And let's do that one more time. With that, as we go into line 2, the only difference will be the lyrics for the first section. Would it be the same? Would it be the same? And and then the second half is identical to line 1. If same lyrics as well. Heaven. So with that, what we'll do in the next section is we'll do a review of all of verse 1. We'll connect lines 1 and 2 together with a slow walkthrough. For the chorus, we go back to the F sharp minor bar chord, and there's a variation with the fingerstyle pattern now. We'll apply an 8 count to each measure, and here's what I mean by that. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then repeat it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So putting that together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we go, we shift the bar down to a C sharp / F chord, same fingerstyle pattern. So if we put those two together, and that's a descending bass line. We're now going, well, we started with the 2nd fret bass, 1st fret bass, which is what we're on now. And we go to an open 6-string bass note. Looks like an A7th, an open A7th chord, but it's technically an E minor 6 because of the E bass note. Same fingerstyle pattern. Let's do that one again. So let's put together the first 3 chords here. 1, 2, ready, go. And let's do that one more time. 1, 2, ready, go. For the second half of the chorus, we'll go to an F sharp 7th bar chord. And this is a tricky section to learn to play. We'll give you a couple of options to choose from. We'll start with probably the most challenging way to play it. And what I hear in the original recording is him shifting down from the melody strings on the 2 and 3 strings to the 3 and 4. So the initial 4 count for the F sharp 7 section, how I play it will sound like this. So we're going to pluck the 3 and 4 strings together with the 6th bass, and then jump to the 5th string bass note. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to change up the chord a little bit. We're going to go from an F sharp 7 to an F sharp 7 sus4, placing the pinky down, raising that 3rd string note up 1 fret, and then this syncs up with the 'Cause I Know lyric. And if you want to sync up with that like he does on the original recording, you place the pinky down, and how I would play it is you pinch that together with the 6th string bass note, 'cause, and then to that 4th string. Now, it could be your first finger, you could shift the thumb. Probably better to shift with the thumb. And then that would be the 'cause, and then lift the pinky, and then brush or pluck the 2 and 3 strings. And that syncs up with the I lyrics. So it's going to sound 'cause I, and then back to that 4-string bass. 'Cause I. And then that's going to lock in with no on the next chord change, which is a B minor 7th. But let's back it up a little bit to the F sharp 7th section. We'll do a slow walk through putting together just this chord here. shift to B minor 7th. So there's an 8 count there, but if you noticed on that 8th count, I changed the bass note. We shift down to the open E string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we end the section, how I like to end it, staying on B minor 7th. So backing it up to the B minor 7th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Dun, 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 dun. And then we'll go back to what is actually the intro section repeated again. We don't want to call it the intro. I guess we could call it the interlude, but it's going to be, well, let me back it up. We'll go right back to that. So we'll call that the interlude that occurs right after the chorus. So what we'll do in the next clip is we'll review the complete chorus and we'll connect that to the interlude to get a good foundation to set us up for the next section. At this point, it's a good idea to take everything you've learned so far and work on a basic arrangement. And that basic arrangement would be starting with the intro section, followed by verse 1, then the first chorus, and then the interlude. A lot of these sections are repeated several times throughout the song, and in fact, even the running order will be a little bit similar. So if you work on this basic arrangement now, it sets a good foundation and makes learning the rest of the song a lot less challenging. Verse 2, guitar-wise, will follow the same progression as verse 1. So the only difference will be working on the different lyrics. So with the next clip, you can focus on syncing or timing the lyrics of verse 2 along with the chords. The second chorus also follows the same progression guitar-wise as the first chorus. So the only difference again will be working on the lyrics. So in the next clip you can focus on syncing the lyrics with the second chorus to the guitar chords. The bridge section starts with a bass line lead-in, 0-2 on that 5th string, and then that'll connect to a C chord. And what you'll do is you'll pluck 3 strings, the 5th along with the 3 and 2 strings together. So 1, 2, 3 is how I count it. And then from there, another 3 count where you shift the thumb to the 4th string, then pluck the top 2 strings, and then go down to the next 2. So how I count it in 3s. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And Then we shift to a G/B chord. That'll be a 3 count as well. We'll start by plucking 3 strings, and then the 4th string bass, and then the melody notes. So for the GB, G/B. So connecting it to the beginning. And then we go to an A minor 7th chord. And then this will be a 4 count. Back again to the beginning, we'll connect all 3. Then we go to a D/F sharp, a 3 count. How I like to play it, I apply a 3 count. At this point, I think it's a good idea to start syncing up the lyrics, because if you can associate the lyrics with the chord changes, it makes it a lot easier. So we're on this D/F sharp. Bend your knees. So G is going to land right on the lyric knees. And then a 4 count on the G chord. Not a full G. In fact, I have my middle finger down. You don't need to have it down. Backing it up to D/F sharp. Bend your knees. And then back to D/F sharp. Another 3 count. In fact, I apply a 3 count every time a D/F sharp chord is played during the bridge. But let's go back to the beginning. You have to sync up those lyrics with those opening chords as well. Time can bring you down. Time can bend your knees. Let's do that again. This time you can sync the lyrics on your own. I'll just play the guitar chords. Then we have sort of an interlude going on. No lyrics. So after that D/F sharp, 1, 2, 3, keep the 3rd finger down, lift the 1 and 2 fingers. That becomes an E minor 7th chord. A 4 count here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then back to D/F sharp. 1, 2, 3 for a 3 count. So backing that up to E minor 7th. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Now let's do a walkthrough. We'll do line 1 of the bridge from the top. 1, 2, ready, go. Pretty much going to repeat. The second line of the bridge will start exactly the same for the first 3 sections. So after that final D/F sharp, 1, 2, 3, then right back to that lead in. Dun, dun, dun. Let me fix that up. Differences with line 2 of the bridge, we have a different ending for the final section. So after that 3 count on the D/F sharp, the beggin' please, right on the syllable please, we're going to revert back to how we ended the verse. So beggin' please. So let's review line 2 of the bridge before we put it all together. Slow walkthrough. 1, 2, ready, go. do in the next clip, we'll review the complete bridge, lines 1 and 2 put together, again with a slow walkthrough. After the bridge comes the guitar solo section. Now the chord progressions, the backing chords, will be played the same as the previous verses. So same progressions with the backing chords. The only thing will be the solo itself. And there's a couple of guitars, as the solo progresses, a couple of guitars are layered. So we'll just show you an approximation for one person to play the solo with. And we're going to be playing in A major on the top string. And we're going to start, if we follow the original recording, we can simplify it. I'll show you how to do that in a second. But to follow really close to the original recording, it's really fast. And what that is, it's a hammer pull-off combo. And then down to that 10th fret. So you can simplify it and just do this. If you want, just a hammer pull off 9 to between the 9th and 10th frets. But let's follow the tab. Then the first finger shifts up to the 12th fret, a hammer from 12 to 14, and then I would shift the first finger down to the 9th fret and apply some one finger vibrato there, backing it up to the beginning. Then we shift up 1 fret, a hammer from the 10th to the 12th fret, and then back to 9. Dun, dun. And then, what that is, a hammer pull off between 7th and 9th frets here, and then after that pull off, sliding down to the 5th fret. And then that's why the 5 is in parentheses, because the note is sounded but not plucked. Let's play it from the beginning. We'll do line 1 with a slow walkthrough. 1, 2, ready, go. And line 1 essentially repeats for the guitar solo. So the complete guitar solo, 2 lines. That's where the layering of guitars comes in. Again, you can throw in some variations on that melody. The one I would suggest is you don't have to do that full hammer pull-off. But that's the rough way to sort of fall into it. And in the next clip, you can practice the complete guitar solo along with the backing track. The third chorus has the same progression as the previous choruses, just different lyrics again. So in the next clip you can sync up the lyrics with the third chorus along with the backing chords. the song's final verse and choruses, you'll be repeating the first verse and choruses, both with the chords and lyrically. So with that, all we need to worry about is going to the song's ending now to complete the arrangement. The progression for the song's ending is pretty much the same as the intro and the interlude sections. A couple of minor variations. One, we sort of slow things down in the progression. So it starts the same, and then starts to slow it down a little bit here, and then we go to A. And then as far as the final chord or final note to play, on the original recording, everything's sort of mixed together. There's two guitars, one guitar is playing some riffs, and there's other instruments. So this is a suggested ending for one-person performance, and I would suggest just to play some type of A major arpeggio. So backing it up here, what's shown on the tab is just 1, 2, 3, 4. But you could vary that up. You could end on the A root note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Or I've also played a full A major chord to get that top string open, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So whatever works, as long as it's a harmonized ending, something in the key of A, based off an A major chord or note, it'll sound good. So you slow it down a little bit before that, and play an A arpeggio, you'll sound good. And that's what we'll do in the next clip. We'll review the suggested ending so you can get a good sense of how to put an end to the complete arrangement. Once you have each section down, the final step is to put together a complete arrangement or performance of the song. And you can do that along with my Tears in Heaven Karaoke practice video, where you can either sing along with Tears in Heaven Karaoke, play guitar with Tears in Heaven Karaoke, or do both.